My angels, I am here for you. Really had no idea how I was going to start this. Are you ready for your message today? I'm lighting my frankincense and myrrh today, so you kind of know I'm going to be going into more of a purification message, and I really felt I haven't dinged my little singing bowl in a while, but we're going to just give the room a shift. This is just kind of breaking the sound barrier, just waking us up a little bit in the 4D. And you know, I'm obsessed with my own oils. Today I felt like Mayim waters. Sacred ritual, rebirth. There's a purification, there's a pulling and a drawing to purification in my spirit this morning. And I'll tell you this real quick just to connect the message to you. If you have felt for the last couple of days like you can't quite explain why your body feels not good. You might be experiencing just some unusual aches and pains, or you maybe hadn't been worried about a few aches and pains, but then suddenly there was this heightened awareness around I'm hearing joint issues and just tenderness, headaches, really difficult to get out of bed, a heaviness feeling. I feel like these symptoms would have been perplexing you just a little bit, but really more moving you almost into fear. And that's what I've been experiencing. And so the message is coming from that place, because I'm not really a fearful person about my body. And I noticed it and I was like, what's going on? So if that's you, and take what resonates, then what I felt this morning was that the Holy Spirit was saying to me, these are symptoms of a shift that's happening in your spirit, that your body is almost like shedding. It's almost like it's trying to release, and you're going to have to release some pain. You're going to have to release some fear in this ascension. And it's not, I want to actually correct the way I said that. You don't have to do anything. This is underway. This process is happening by divine initiation. So that should be some relief to us. I think it's sweet when you realize how looked after you are. And remember, water is the leading element that I feel like we're tapping into, which to me represents rebirth, purification. The only other thing I'll say is that I did feel like somebody was getting really close, like not even close. You are on the edge of such a dramatic breakthrough, spiritually speaking. And what I mean by that is you're kind of at your threshold for BS. And I'm not just talking about BS other people are giving you. I'm talking about internally. You might have recently just realized you actually do like yourself. You are the authentic version of yourself. Oh, hang on one second. I'll be right back. My daughter was just calling in, which was probably like a butt dial from school. But I just thought that's interesting. Again, I don't really believe in coincidence. So maybe you just had somebody dial you, or maybe you have a daughter who's been on your mind this morning. I'll leave that out there for you. Okay, so what I was saying is you're getting really close to it's an ascension, and I just want to use that word with some context. When I talk about ascensions, I'm talking about a process that is really humbling first. And for me, in my universal truth, I understand and connect through experience over time that often when we get to the end of the cycle, we will be feeling death symptoms, because in Yahweh, the creator, everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's in cycles, right? Seasons, just like the seasons, summer, winter, fall, whatever. Everything has a beginning and a middle and an end. Now, it doesn't mean that the lesson is always learned, okay? And that's where you enter in the kind of concept of karma, which I don't think that Judeo-Christianity, anyways, doesn't really have a good enough concept of that, in my personal opinion. Enough to allow for people to take responsibility for that cycle. Okay, a lot of times, I don't know why I'm deviating, but a lot of times in religious settings, people will say, well, God will do that thing, right? And wrong. God will do things, and by God, we mean all of your spirit team. We mean the energetics of what's happening in the universe to support you, to support creation, to support the will of God, right? Which is what? That everyone would come into union, and with him, I don't mean masculine, God is neither male nor female, that everybody would come into union and enjoy their life and rule benevolently over creation, right? Okay, so anyways, deviation for some reason. Maybe you're interested in hearing that kind of stuff, but we have to take responsibility. If we notice that we're on a loop, we have to take responsibility for it, because I promise you, everything in the background, which you can't see, is wanting your breakthrough, okay? Now, I don't mean everything. There's things that don't want your breakthrough too, but everything good, and you have more good on your side than anything you need to worry about with evil. And you have you, which is ultimately the most powerful way to break through anything, right? Yeshua said, I give you all authority, okay? So is Yeshua coming to save us? No. Yeshua did a work for all of humanity. What were the last words on the cross? It is finished. My work is done here. I'm not coming back to save you. No, that's not how this works. Now you are taking up your sovereignty and your responsibility, and you're going, okay? If anything, you're the one who needs to save everybody else, okay? I hope that makes sense. And please don't, if anybody has like hero issues, no, we don't, we save. I'm always having to qualify everything. I feel like there's so much tricky triggering though that goes on with this conversation, isn't it? First we save ourselves and then we help others, right? That's the way it goes. All right. I don't mean you actually have to go. If you have issues with responsibility like I have in my life that could hit you in a triggering way, I just mean we're the ones. People say, why is there starving people in the world? I don't know, you tell me. Why aren't we fixing that? Yeah, I think it's been left to us. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna get us a few cards, and then we're gonna see, just to connect you to this moment in your life for some divine guidance. All right, Autumn, so I'm sick and tired of this loop. I'm ready to break through, right? I would not be surprised. I'll get a tarot card if the world card doesn't come out, because the world is about truly bringing a cycle to a close, and that's what I feel like is happening. All right, but for some reason I grabbed this deck. So let's just get, Holy Spirit, can I get whatever card you want, whatever you want to say about this cycle ending in my beautiful collective life. Divine child. You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't on a path to healing, to revelation. Whoa, that one wants to flip over. Did you see that? Doubt rises when truth gets too close. Doubt rises when truth gets too close. And the 555 on my clock, I restarted. The thing that stands out to me with this is that, remember how I said you're getting very close? It's like I see you coming up to this line and you're like, okay, maybe you have a decision. I feel like something is sitting maybe in the background Maybe you need to get back to someone, or maybe you're needing to make a decision about an action to take at work. Maybe you're wondering about your parenting. It could be finances. But this moment is connected to a very practical action that you need to take. And the reason why we have to have that practicality with our spirituality is because if it is not embodied and acted upon, it isn't real. You're not manifesting any changes. You're not shifting anything, okay? So you're having some doubt. You're going back and forth over a choice that you need to make, or maybe a couple of choices. It's getting really hot here, guys, so I've got to drink my water. Okay, you're having some doubt. Can I get, actually, I think, okay, Holy Spirit, which one? You're having some doubt. Okay, actually, I want to get this one. I got into this deck yesterday, the reality check. And I found it really interesting. It has like here's a diagnosis, and here's a surgery, so to speak. So these are very truth-telling cards. Reality check is what they're called. And that's kind of what's going on. The reality that you live in is, you might be doubting, but it's shifting right now. Did you just see that? I love that. It says match energy. Oh my God. Okay. Radical agency. The exit. Can't make this up. Reciprocity check. Holy crap. The truth. Stop crossing oceans for people who won't jump puddles for you. Mirror their investment. So the doubt that you're feeling over these decisions that you have to make, it's coming from a place of having to let go of fear that if I don't take this action, let me say it like this, if I don't act like I normally act, which has always led me in imbalanced relationships, right? You probably have struggled with boundaries with people, struggled to voice how that makes you feel, how something makes you feel, struggled to maybe say what your needs are, or it's reciprocity is what this card is talking about. The doubt is coming from whether or not you're going to be okay if you take a certain action. And if this is for you, it should be in your spirit right now. You should be feeling like, yeah. But you also should be hearing your higher self going, we are going to be okay. Of course we are. Look how much we've come through. Like, there's nothing that could happen at this point. I really mean, this message is for somebody who you have already crossed many, many paths of change, of metamorphosis, right? Of ascension, if you prefer that language. So do not, here's the surgery, do not, it's so dark in this room. Do not overcompensate for their lack of effort. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. Sorry, you guys. I can just see, like, it's so hot. I'm in England and it's like Africa, okay? Reciprocity check. So you're crossing a threshold and you're about to see yourself. You're about to really become a version of yourself that you might have been waiting to become for such a long time. And I think your strength is going to surprise you. But the only way, you guys, do you go to the gym, or have you ever heard of a gym if you don't like the gym? Lifting weights, you have to test your strength. You have to actually use your strength. You have to have resistance. There has to be some oppositional feeling and force in order for you to see, I can lift more. This isn't going to kill me. It's really not. You thought in your mind is, remember, plastic, right? That one wanted to, yeah. Okay, so the Hermit just wanted to flip over, which tells me you've been in a place of reflection. And King of Swords in reverse, kind of harsh. You've been pretty harsh on yourself. That's what I'm hearing for that. Maybe part of your doubt, that is like, if I draw a boundary, does it mean I'm a harsh person? And there could be some bondage around you with that issue. And I'm hearing it's because you're afraid to lose people in your life. Maybe you've lost a lot already. I don't want to be too harsh or I'll lose someone. You know, I heard somebody say this, and I love this phrase. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And for me, it's not saying that our words can't hurt people or that we should be out there just like trying to hurt people. But if somebody is wanting to do friendship with you, do life with you, and you're having to walk on eggshells over what you say, there's something inherently wrong with the security that you're feeling in that relationship. Okay, and if you have been harsh with someone, if they love you, right, and if you are truly not trying to be harsh with them, but you're journeying through a trigger or you're journeying through something, that person, if they are supposed to be in your life, will reciprocate grace to you. What does that mean? That really hurt me, but I love you. Where's that coming from? Okay, and then you would be, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. It's coming from a place of fear or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? We have to put our relationships, we have to put them under review. And that's what's going on right now. And you're worried that you're going to lose people. But the truth is, if you lose someone, they were not meant to be in your life. Not if you're watching this channel, you're on a healing journey. You're not trying to be here to hurt anybody. Okay? So, and you might have been judging that other person for being harsh, but really what that means is you yourself are judging yourself for being too harsh, okay? 5 of Wands. I think that's just really about confusion. Yeah, you're feeling confused over this. Can I get one more? You're feeling in a state of confusion. You need to forgive yourself, first of all. You need to forgive yourself if you've been harsh with your words. You need to forgive yourself so that you can, 7 of Pentacles. So if you're in a little bit of a tangle over this, which obviously you are because there's a blockage from getting over this threshold, you need to sit with yourself and with spirit and say, what am I afraid of? Okay, I'm afraid of losing someone. I'm afraid of my own voice. I'm afraid of myself. I'm afraid of self-sabotaging. I don't want to, there's something about be feeling harsh or like you've been too harsh with people. Maybe you have. Can you forgive yourself for that? Is my question. Can you forgive yourself? Do you understand that when you're being harsh with people, I would say this to my girls, because we've been through a lot in the last few years, and all of us in this household can get angry, right? And there's no shame allowed in my household. So if we get angry, we own it. But we don't sit in shame. So, okay, what came flying out of your mouth? Right. That is, anger is always coming from a place of fear or pain. It's you felt an injustice and you're lashing out. Well, then we go, what are you afraid of? Okay, and the people who love you and the life you want to create, the friendships you want to create, the partnerships, the love relationship you want to create, you want it to be full of safety for you and for that person. And if you can't be someone who can absorb someone's lashing out, who you deem trustworthy, who you have decided, I am actually going to bring this person in, they are safe, or they're your kids, or whatever. if you're in relationship and you chose to have people in your relational inner circle, then you need to be able to absorb other people's hurt and pain as long as there's reciprocity, okay? Now your kids aren't going to show you reciprocity in the same way. But, and it's coming to my mind, we have to be careful as well with our kids that we don't project our own issues in other places, right, onto them, okay? Because they aren't going to be able to reciprocate. They don't walk in that level of wisdom yet. Although some act a lot wiser than a lot of adults, am I right? Okay, 7 of Pentacles. That is about, it's like look at this guy's card. It's like taking into account, okay, you've sown some seeds. This is what I'm getting with this. This is how I want to interpret this one. You have been sowing seeds, and for a long time, you've been watching over something. You have a mission. There's something you want to ground, that you have grounded. And you sat there. Do you see him just like looking? And he's looking over this and he's watching over it. And he's knowing this is going to take some time. Okay, the magic. I love this. Don't you love this? To me, this is the magic of the seed. This is what we can see. This is what the divine sees. This is what God sees. This is growing. This is rooting. Good job. Keep going. This is why you have to have the boundaries and why you have to cross the threshold. I love this. This is going to be our final card, I think. The reason why you're going through this ascension is because in order to grow this to big size, right, you have to do consistent daily weeding. You have to watch over your heart. You have to guard your heart above all things, for out of it flow the issues of life. Your bitterness, your resentment will self-sabotage this more than having boundaries and speaking for yourself. And we deceive ourselves a lot of times thinking if we don't have a boundary, we're letting it ride. Okay, I've done it. But unfortunately, if somebody hasn't reciprocated with us, there is nowhere for the soul to go except resentment. Okay, and over time it builds and it will just begin to wrap around this tree and it will choke it out. Okay, it will choke it out. So you're not doing yourself or anyone else any favors by wondering, should I be my authentic self? Should I voice how this makes me feel? Really? Should I unmask and let these other people in my life know this is where I'm really at? This is how it really hits me. And if you can't be vulnerable with someone else, then you have to let them walk away because they are not a safe place for you. Okay? And what you're growing, and it will hurt for a minute, it will. And your fear of abandonment or your fear of rejection, it will raise its little shadow head and you'll think, okay, how is this going to go? But if you trust, if you take that risk in faith to love yourself, God honors risk and faith, and he will pour a grace out that will meet you where you're at. And I see your focus, it will be back on where it needs to be, on growing the things that you need to grow. You'll be re-energized. It'll take 1 minute, but then you'll find out, oh, I was strong enough to get through that. I was strong enough to get through that. I can get through anything. There's something about the surrender, because I picked up that element water. There's a surrender aspect to this, and you're never alone. You're not alone in this, and I want to tell you that. I have been through all of this stuff. I go through this stuff. We all go through it. We don't just do it and then that's done, right? We go through this journey together. But I believe you are supported and you're loved. And as you walk up to this threshold, actually want to get one of these for you. As you walk up, I know I said last card, but one more. As you walk up to this threshold and you're like, okay, I've got to make a decision. Also, this is coming to my mind. Give yourself a time limit. Give yourself 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it is. You make up your own time limit. 21:21 on my clock. God is faithful. Okay, faithful to accomplish all that has been written in your scroll, all that has been promised to you. You do your part, you watch over it, right? And God does their part, which is what? The magic of the seed, the increase, the revelation, oh, I'm waking up one morning and I feel so clear and so strong. And you know what? Those ascension symptoms that I talked about physically, you're going to feel them shift. And I'm hearing it in the next 7 days. Yeah, intuition. You're being asked to follow your gut feeling on this decision. Follow your gut feeling. Okay, wow, 4 came flying out. Wisdom. The answer is already stirring inside of you. Yeah, it is. Look at that too. Sorry, I just have to look at the hollow, that tree. Look at that. That's like, do you ever think of how we mirror trees? We just physically really mirror trees. That's beautiful. That's what's that's just stirring inside of you. You already have the answer to this. Playfulness. I love that. Let your spirit skip where rules once stood. You've had so many rules for yourself. Walking on eggshells with people. Maybe you don't have to have all those rules. Maybe you're calling in people into your life that are gonna support your shine and your sparkle and your glow. And can I tell you, and I can feel this in my body, for you, that would be getting it all. That would be the dream. To wake up one day and realize you have actually manifested through blood, sweat, and tears, carrying your cross, taking responsibility, making the hard decisions. You wake up one day and you have a group of people around you, soul tribe, that are cheering you on and making you feel like you've always made other people feel. The dream. The dream. Once you get that, in my opinion, finances are amazing to manifest. Mission, yes, all of those things. Love, yes, yes, yes. But when you find that you have a solid group of friendships around you that are not fake, they are safe places for you, you have just cracked the code, because you can basically do anything in life from that point. When you have that, you've done it already on your own. Imagine what you can do with support, healthy support. Aw, sensitivity. Your tenderness is a sacred instrument. I recently said this to somebody. I said, I know that people think I'm so strong and confident, but I'm very, very sensitive, and I know that about myself. And I tried for a long time to hide that part. That was the bit I was like, don't show anybody that. Armor up, right? Wrong way around. We have that the wrong way around. The reason I have boundaries is to protect my sensitivity, because my sensitivity is what keeps my intuition, is what keeps my inner glow alive. If you are a tender person, a sensitive person, and all you've had is people go, oh, it's like people gaslight you, right? They take your kindness for weakness and they make you feel like that's a flaw, or like they can step all over you. Or, and I'm hearing this, it could be that you yourself have not shown that sensitivity to people, so they do think you're harsher than you are, or whatever. So they're responding to you out of your own projection of your armor. Does that make sense? So I hope this message blesses you. I hope you know that you can take a few minutes, hours, days, whatever you need, whatever you decide, look at your decisions again and ask yourself, how can I make these decisions from the most authentic place of being myself, not overly like giving someone, here's my whole heart, hold it in your hands. Not that. This is how this makes me feel. I'm responsible for myself. Not you make me feel this way. Not you do this to me, but I feel very sensitive about this. I'm making this decision because these are my values. This is what aligns with me. And I need to make sure that I'm keeping my flow going, right? I want my heart to stay pure. We're back to the water. It's in these sacred waters of baptism, these sacred waters of cleansing and rebirth, that we stay pure. I just feel like I need to put it over my heart, okay? And I'm putting it over your heart and your pulse points, okay? Life force. The life force flowing through you is powerful, and it has to be rebirthed regularly. We're in a very challenging 3D paradigm, and there isn't a single soul around you that doesn't get tarnished or just, what is it that Christ said? He said, you don't need to take a shower every day, energetically speaking, but you need to wash your feet. It's like, it's going to get on you. Don't deny that, okay? You're going to get on you. All other people's stuff, your stuff, but just wash off. Do this journey with the Spirit and keep your heart clean and pure. For the pure in heart shall see God. Your glow. For the pure in heart shall see God. We don't see up here, we see with our hearts. That's where your intuition is. This up here, this is where ego works. Ego just moves. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, third eye. I know about the pineal gland. I do understand that there's a degree of sight. I don't really understand that all right now, if I'm being honest. I'm working and reworking some theories, so I don't want to put anything out there about that. All I know right now today is that I think we see with our heart. I think if we're asking our intuition, in Hebrew the word is lev, our heart. Follow your heart. You have everything you need. You already know the answers. And this message is just finding you to confirm that to you. Does that make sense? Okay, my angels, I love you so much. Take good care of yourself, and I hope that things go well. I know they will go well for you, because this has all been divinely initiated. So you're moving across this threshold. You're moving across it. There's no going back, and we don't want to go back. We want the new. Okay. It's coming to my mind. Think about waking up one day and realizing you have manifested an entire group of people who support you. It may not be a ton. We don't need a ton. Might just be a handful, but that's what this is about. Okay, so if anything does get lost, remember, you're making room for the people you are going to meet that do align, for your heart to feel full and happy. Okay, I love you so much. I hope you have a good day. Bye, guys.